there's levels to this, so I'm gonna say there's definitely some credence to what the brother is saying. And when I say there's levels to this, we have to understand that if we look at something from one perspective, we lose out on the grand scheme of things. Meaning, yes, we understand in ancient Kemet, you look at all the deities they had on skirts. We get it. We understand up in Ireland, where the Moors went up and the Celts, who were original people, they rock, the kilts and things of that nature. We understand even the samurai warriors wore them. So traditionally, yes. But we live in a world of ignorance in the terms of when you constantly are seeing those who are not cultural, trying to make a cultural statement where dresses, CeeLo had on a goddamn wedding dress. Let's be clear. Yeah, there was no cultural relevance to that whatsoever. And all of the actors who put on the dresses for multiple reasons. The initiation into Hollywood, which is a part of the feminization of the black man. See, the strongest image this planet has ever seen is that of a black man and his black woman. There is no stronger image than that. So, the feminization of black men in Hollywood is critical. You know what I mean? Because that goes into the psyche of the future generations and how they should perceive us. Then there's some who just putting on dresses for laughs. You know what I'm saying? Again, buck dancing in Hollywood. Then there's the ritualistic aspect, as we mentioned. Even up in some Masonic orders, you have to wear a dress in public. So it's important that as we comb through this, that we try not to have one perception. Now, Lord Jamal went in on Omar X, and you have to understand Lord Jamal's view of it. Wearing a dress, a skirt, a kilt, has never been introduced into the lexicon of hip-hop. Right, you know what I'm saying? Throughout the history of hip-hop. So he's standing from a point, Lord Jamal, about protecting the culture in regards to the skirt, situation. So again, that has never been introduced into the lexicon of hip hop prior to, you know what I'm saying? And then if you following the trend, most of that shit was homosexual based. With CeeLo and even A$AP Rocky had on a long dress. I was trying to find the cultural significance and what he was, you know what I mean? So all of that makes sense. When somebody decides to make a true cultural stand, that shit gets washed up and goes out with the rinse like everybody else, including Mos Def. So this is not to suggest in any way that Omar Epps may have been trying to make a cultural stand. But when everything that preceded you was a feminization of the culture, outright blatant, or, buffooning the black man, it's hard for you. You become like a blip on the radar, especially if you don't truly express, your intentions. Now, I will say this. When I look at Omar Epps, I don't ever have a history of him buffooning. In none of his movies, you know what I'm saying? I've never picked up a homosexual vibe. So he may have a little relevance in what he was saying. Same thing with Mos Def. You know what I'm saying? We know Mos Def is a conscious brother, you know what I'm saying, who stands up and fights for our people through his music. So, and to make a note, I don't know if this is even connected, but Omar Epps has got a new TV show out.
Resurrection.
Boom. That's what it is. So, Resurrection, maybe he's trying to just resurrect the culture in its truest essence of who we are. You know what I'm saying? You know how metaphysically we have to look at it from many perspectives. So maybe it's ritualistically in tune with him and his show Resurrection, that he's resurrecting, you know what I'm saying, some ancient deities. With that said, we have to understand that ignorance is bliss. We live in Stupidville. You know what I'm saying? As much information that's available for our people today on the planet it's just as much ignorance going on. If you stupid in this day and time, that's by choice. You know what I'm saying? Because you have many mediums and avenues for you to study in depth, you know what I'm saying, our culture, our history, but people don't study today. So when you come out with a skirt on, you better believe it's going to get washed up. You know what I mean? So Lord Jamal, the guard, was coming from a perspective that this has never been introduced into the lexicon of hip-hop before, along with everything else we're seeing being done, French manicures and things of this nature. Omar situation, it came at the wrong time, if there's a such thing as a wrong time. So I understand both scenarios of the situation. So it's important that now Omar has made his stand and what this is about. It's up to each individual to begin to truly study what's going on. But I'm not going to fall by the wayside in saying that the culture of hip-hop has not been turned into some homo shit. You know what I'm saying? They're blending, they're blurring the lines between masculinity and femininity, and all of this is going on simultaneously while one or two of brothers are trying to come out and make a cultural stand and stand on the shoulder of giants. So it gets very complicated, and so it's important that we try our best to listen to everybody's point of view and get in where you fit in. Now, most of the people is just gonna, you know, like I said, suck that up with, that's just some homo shit. But if we go deep back in the history, we will see that, yeah, we did wear kilts and, you know, certain skirts, and our deities had those on. However, we've been living in Rome for so long and doing as the Romans do, right? That when we try to reconnect with who we are, it looks so off base that people have a hard time comprehending something as subtle and, you know, as putting on a skirt or national TV, dressed in all black. His shit looked like some Osiris shit. You know what I mean? But it's hard to integrate that into the culture. And another thing, last point I'll make on that. Lord Jamal's coming from the standpoint of hip hop. What he's up against is not hip hop. This is rap music. It's two different ball games. Hip hop had a certain standard and principles, and we did things collectively, knowledge, wisdom, and rose and raised the vibration of the people. Rap is basically the polar opposite. Anything goes to rap. Anybody can rap. You don't need no skill set. They can fuse all kind of things into it. So we're talking about two different paradigms. As you mentioned, a paradigm shift of us going from Pisces into the age of Aquarius. This is in line with that. But when Cameron and all of them was wearing all that pink, everybody was going ballistic because this is some gay shit. But we had already received the knowledge from our elders that, you know, back in the days, that pink was a male color. It represents love, but it was a male dominant color. But again, when you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do. So we are all under Roman rule. You know what I'm saying? And how they perceive things and what they have interjected into the psyche of the people over the course of years. And remember, the collective agreement is where this shit vibrates. If enough people agree on something, that shit becomes what it is. See the movie Inception again? When they plant shit deep down in your subconscious, superconscious, infinite minds, and then when they trigger it with something else, you begin to accept things that you normally wouldn't accept. And we're going to talk about that because a lot of this is tied into that. So, you know, when hip-hop, again, a masculine or at least something that we use as a vehicle to teach, educate, it shows your level of intelligence, so many different aspects. We used it to reconnect with, you know, our ancient past. Look at the X-Clan, Brand Nubians was teaching, Poor Righteous Teachers. The list goes on and on of how we were so used to using hip-hop as a vehicle to express so many things, but homosexuality wasn't one of them because that wasn't natural to our lexicon as a people. So and now that rap, this shit has crossed over. Rap, anything and everything goes. So hip-hop and homosexuality, or rap and homosexuality, that shit go together like peanut butter and jelly. You know what I mean? And we, of an old paradigm, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Have a hard time adjusting. It's like going from analog to digital. Are thinking people in the terms of, you know, we are grounded in the way things were and what we're used to. And this new generation, they digital. Everything is quick, fast for them, and they assimilate to shit that we would never assimilate to. We're never coming off our square in regards to certain things, and that's what Lord Jamal is saying in the grand scheme of things. I had no problems with anything he said on Vlad TV over the last month and a half, because I understood where he coming from. But when you say these type of things in the face of those who have been Europeanized times 10, to think that we are all one people, male, female, this, that you look like you become a threat in a sense, because people don't want truth in this damn time. You know what I'm saying? They call you a hater, and everything you said could be truth, and they will still call you a hater, because it ain't about right and wrong for this particular generation. And that's where we're losing a lot of our steam, because they on a whole different paradigm. They on a whole different grid with their digital type thinking. I'm only using that as an analogy to show that the difference in the way we think then and now. That's the $1 million question. But like I've always said, that image of us, of a black man and a black woman, since we are the mother and father of civilization, let's not even play with that, right? The images are important, you know what I mean? And that image being so strong and powerful, they have to tear that image down. Again, probably a part of their agenda to assimilate you into who they are. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Hemmett said that they was bisexual by nature. And when we go into the Greeks and Romans and how they did things, they viewed the woman the lowest of the low. So they would rather have sex with a man or boy and they only use the women to carry on their lineage. So this ties way back into that too. But if you're going to play in their game and what they're doing, there are certain protocols that they expect you to follow by and abide by. That's the whole, go into Hollywood, get butt fuck ritual. You know what I'm saying? All of that's a part of it to show that your mindset and you have aligned with us and what our agenda is over any other agenda. Now, that does not suggest in any way that certain people just, I have a term I use called gay-tanic. I created. It's a play on satanic, but gay-tanic is for those who do not consider themselves to be gay or live a gay lifestyle, yet will perform gay acts for social, political, economic, and, ritual gain. And that's important to understand, because there are some people out here, based on the foods that we've been eating and things of that, whose psyche has been turned them into feminine beings. So I'm not talking about regular people who live a gay life. That's a separate can of worms in general. I'm talking about the ones in position of power who do not consider themselves gay, yet will perform these gay acts so that they can be Romanized or part of the Roman society of rule and get a few extra pieces of chips. Those are the ones you truly have to worry about. The other one is, Phil Valentine, of course, and breaks down the biochemical through the food and stuff like that has changed. The estrogen in the soy and all that stuff has made regular folks, gay and have to deal with some issues. But to me, it's all boiling down to the powerful image and them hating God. You know what I'm saying? When you have a crusade against God, which is the black man and black woman, you win the war, or you show and prove to your people and those you align with that you can tinker with that which is, all powerful and almighty, which is the image of the black man and black woman. So we have a lot of work to do. And, this generation is just a mess. Damn, they're a mess. In a way, it is a matrix that binds us. You know what I mean? Because we constantly reinforce from generation to generation and pass down that which, we have learned. Now, it is important to recognize that the further and further we go back culturally, the more we were probably in tune with something that aligned us on a more positive realm. So, but you mentioned it's not necessarily positive or negative, but culture can be manufactured in this day and time. You know what I mean? When you get a series of people and you push an agenda with all the media and even music, all of this has created a grid over the planet. The music, the media, the movies, it's like a grid that we can't escape, so to speak. So whatever it is that they're pushing that's supposed to be so-called right or wrong, people are just adjusting to it on the fly. You know what I mean? And culture becomes whatever a collective amount of people agree with, that this is the way of life that they're going to live, then they rock out with it, and then they pass that on to the next generations. So the homosexual culture, remember, back in the days, all right, this has been around for a while, but people weren't trying to push their agenda onto you. You know what I mean? If they was gay, they just did their thing and they moved on. But now, what they're doing now is pushing agendas. And through the television, through the media, through the music, through the so-called iconic figures that you look up to, who are also saying, no, it's okay for you to do this and that. And once that's planted into the minds of the youth, they begin to carry it out and further spread this so-called culture. You know what I mean? So you got to look at it from that perspective too. This is why when you see a gay couple on TV now, for me, I go, ew, that shit is nasty. You know what I mean? I don't need to see that. But for those who are gay and live the gay lifestyle, that shit becomes the Jackie Robinson of their cause. You know what I mean? Because they have been living in a shell for so long and have to hide the way they truly feel, that these are milestones for them. And over the last 10 years in particular, so many things have been lining up for them to come out and be a little bit more bold and be a little bit more outward with their lifestyle, that it has now spread so much into culture. It's sort of like the word Illuminati. That shit is a catchy word now. Everybody uses it. You know what I mean? So being gay or being out with your gayness or being out with, you know, that kind of lifestyle is a part of the culture now. It has been assimilated because collectively, every time they push the envelope, nobody put the brakes on that shit. And now that shit is a snowball going downhill. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not being homophobic. I have gay people in my family who I love dearly. I'm pretty sure we all have somebody in our family, but they've never tried to push their lifestyle onto me. You understand what I'm saying? So now we have it where, go watch the movie Inception. You know what I'm saying? And Inception is crazy because they were using music to bring you out and trigger and go down deeper. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but you had to be asleep for them to put you under Inception. So we have a generation of people that they have put to sleep with this so-called low vibration of music and low vibration of movies and reality TV. And then they began to incept or place that shit deep down into your subconscious mind, that all of this shit is beautiful, that everything is everything now. So now, 10 years later, this generation doesn't see anything different or anything wrong. So it has become a part of the culture. So I don't know if that answered your question, but to me, that is a matrix. It serves its purpose when you can stop people from having babies in reference to the gay, lesbian community and things of that nature. Also, the number one people who are aborting babies is black women. Once you begin to see the black man as your open enemy, there's no need to even continue to have this nigga's baby up inside of me. And so it's a long, drawn-out scenario, but it does boil back down to the image of the black man and the black woman. So now it's okay to be a side piece. It's okay to strip and show your body, you know what I'm saying, in clubs. And again, like I said, I'm coming from a paradigm that wasn't introduced into the lexicon of hip-hop or even our culture prior, where we came home proud to say, Ma, this is Pebbles. You know what I'm saying? She works down at the, you know, niggas is smacking her ass all day, but she loves me. That's just not something that we could grasp our fingers around, but I'm an analog thinker in that sense. In this new generation, I mean, since when do you know you can line up 8 or 9 dudes who smash this, for a fact, and then you wife it? You know what I mean? And so all of this is aligned with the degradation of the female energy, which is the most powerful energy on the planet, especially when we talk about black women and so forth and so on. So if they don't see the value in themselves and we don't see the value in them, then it creates a cycle which we as a collective goes down. Now, the rap culture, I'm not even going to say hip-hop culture, rap culture promotes this on a regular basis. You know what I mean? I'm in love with a stripper.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now these sisters, and Chuck D said, attention is the new currency. And that was a key phrase, because these sisters, when they're receiving that much attention, then why should they feel they have to come home and help raise the children and be the first educators of the child and things of that nature, when they can make all this money for 2-3 hours of work? So when you see the sisters going to work every day, trying to keep the family afloat or whatever the case may be, these sisters, because money is king, why do that when I can go hit the club for 3 hours and come home with what that sister's making in a week? Or why, when I put up a clip on World Star, I get 800,000 hits? That's money. It ain't physical money, but it's attention money. You know what I'm saying? So sisters with low self-esteem and a big ass now feel that they are important, because you have to have an existence in the virtual world in this day and time, or you don't exist. You know what I mean? So if you are not in the virtual world, making some kind of impact, doing something, this generation, it's irrelevant. If you just off the grid, working, trying to raise your family, who wants that? You know what I'm saying? And trying to rationalize that to this generation is very, very tough. So our sisters out getting butt implants and all this kind of craziness, all for the sake of attention, all for the sake to hope that some baller will come through that club and scoop them away. And you know what I mean? So yeah, we're dealing with a lot with the male and female energy as a whole. And this generation, again, I'm trying my best to try to understand their philosophy in this day and time. But it's all connected with the reality shows, the rap music, those behind the scenes who really control the rap music, the homo agenda. All of that stuff is tied in where we lower the vibration of an entire nation. An entire race of people is in a step down capacity. We ain't stepping up. That's a few people trying to hold things up, but when 85% of the people only care about scandal and the game, and it's tough with all of this information readily available. This is what I mean. It's readily. If you stupid, that's a choice in this day and time, because information is here. You know what I mean? And so that's what we're dealing with, and it's overwhelming at times.
We've only just
Oh yes, indeed. I like this.